Hello everyone, it's Timmy2009, and I'm finally back with another Thomas the Tank Engine video. Now this is something that I've been wanting to talk about ever since I first started this project back in February of this year, after the Bluebird series got discontinued. So, now while I did enjoy that project, I've been wanting to do other ones for quite some time. And what better project to do than an N-scale Thomas the Tank Engine? Now there's going to be quite a long story behind of what I did making this guy. So let's just jump straight into it. Now I've been wanting to do an N-scale Thomas the Tank Engine for quite some time in 3 printed form. Bachmann just announced they were making a bunch of N-scale Thomas the Tank Engine trains for their new line. They've done HO scale, they've done large scale, so why not do N-scale? And I think that that's a great idea, because the N-scale trains, in my opinion, are so cute. They're so tiny, and you know I love small things, like the Bluebird trains, and then my Busy Book series, and who can forget the Thomas Minis, which are all right, though they do feel a little cheap. And I do find it sort of also cheap that they would like keep making the same characters over and over again, but just give them different colors, different paint jobs, and even do crossovers like DC and SpongeBob. But I think those are cool. They're exceptions, though. Now, what I've been thinking about doing N-scale, but I never got around to doing it. I kept on designing an N-scale Thomas and 3 builder, but I never just printed him. Even when I do print one, I never painted it because I was so focused on other things. Yes, I used 3 builder to 3 model these trains. The N-scale couplers and wheels came from Thingiverse, and everything else you see here is scratch built, even the face. And last year I almost made an N-scale Thomas, but not quite this one. So here's the Thomas I made before. I mean, it's a little bit bigger than this one, but I'm pretty sure it has the same, like, I don't know. So I tried to base this N-scale Thomas off of the MST Noodle Thomas, like the very old Trains model, like back when Trains first became a thing and people started making Thomas related content. It started making their own fan-made stories. Yeah, I think originally Thomas was supposed to be dark blue and his face was supposed to be based off of the PC games. You know, the ones like Trouble on the Tracks, The Great Festival Adventure, all that jazz. Which, by the way, those are pretty stunning games. I mean, building the new line is okay, but I think it looks better in Trouble on the Tracks and The Great Festival Adventure. And oh yeah, Railway Adventures, that's a classic. But yeah, I mean, I just got as far as printing him and painting him blue, but I never done anything else with him. I mean, one day I might try to finish him. I don't know yet. I'm just pretty happy with this one. So now that I've had more free time, I finally made an N-scale Thomas. And what better way to have an N-scale Thomas but to also make Annie and Clarabelle. Yeah, I made Annie and Clarabelle just so Thomas wouldn't be lonely. Yeah, I thought it would be nice to have his 2 coaches since he has his own branch line. So, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to be talking about Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle. Now, if you're asking me to do more characters in the future, don't worry. I promise I'll try to do more characters, even if it takes a long time. Now, I'm only going to be doing engines from seasons 1 through 7, so this means no hit era characters and no CGI characters. And as much as I like season 17 to 21, I still think seasons 1 through 7 are the best. Because come on, that's my childhood, and who can let go of their childhoods, am I right? Seasons 1 through 7 is the golden age of Thomas and Friends, in my opinion, and will always have a special place in my heart. So, let's talk about this for the first time. So, rather than talking about just Thomas himself, we're going to start off with his coaches, Annie and Clarabelle. So, I think Annie and Clarabelle were the first characters I completed. Like, I was still in the process of painting Thomas, but I think it was worth it because look how awesome he came out. I know you're probably going to be critiquing me and saying that he has no side rods, but I just thought I'd make him more charming and simplistic, because I love the simplistic toys, like Golden Bear Thomas, anyone? How about the Tomy trains with no stripes? Or even Wooden Railway for the lack of detailing and other stuff. Like, I'm a huge fan of simplistic stuff. I mean, the red boiler stripes aren't that bad in the TV series, but I just thought it would look more appealing without them, because, like, I think Thomas came out nice. But that's not him that we're talking about right now. So, also the faces do look pretty nice. They look accurate to how Annie and Clarabelle are supposed to look. Now, I know they don't have names on their sides, but let's be honest, I can't really write that small with a toothpick if I could try. Because, like, look how small this N-Scale Thomas is in my hand. He's a little he's actually bigger than the Bluebird trains, but still very small in size. Like, I don't know, I haven't measured these guys yet. But I'm sure you'd probably be able to tell me what size N-Scale is it compared to HO scale. HO scale is much larger, and if you're talking about G scale, holy crap, it's huge. So, they're actually based off of the actual coaches. Like, I found a file for Thingiverse for these two coaches. However, there was one problem that Annie and Clarabelle had, is that their wheels pop off easily, and the couplings aren't that secure. Now, I don't know if I might fix that or not, because I'm pretty happy with how these two look. I know you're probably also going to be nitpicking me and saying that they're too dark. And if you're wondering why that is, well, I know they were orange in the first 4 seasons, but I thought I'd give them a more Season 5 look, but still keeping the white roofs. Yes, I hate the gray roofs. I'm not a fan of them. As much as I hate Duck's black running board and Oliver's black running board in the Andrew Brenner era. I mean, giving Bill and Ben red wheels is a nice touch, and I love that they gave Henrietta a face. Like, that has to be one of the best character changes. But anyways, now in terms of Annie and Clarabelle themselves, you probably know who they are. They're Thomas's faithful coaches. They give Thomas good advice, and they are his voice of reason, and they do care for each other. Yeah, it's pretty obvious who these coaches are. They're very special to Thomas. Also, another thing I do have a problem with is that Annie's coupling right here is a little bit crooked, but I can't complain that much because, like, I love how these two came out. And they look great next to Thomas. Okay, now we can finally talk about Thomas himself. The iconic blue engine of our childhoods. Now, he is a very big part of my childhood, and he's touched the hearts of many kids around the world. Even the kids with autism. Which is a fact. There are a lot of autistic people who love Thomas and Friends. And it's too bad that Mattel's not going to appeal to them anymore, which is kind of stupid. I mean, Usual Bloke Luke has already covered that before. And Usual Bloke Luke is another guy with autism who does love Thomas and Friends. So I do kind of feel bad that Mattel basically stopped listening to the people with autism. Alright, but sorry if I got sidetracked. Let's talk about Thomas. So, he looks very accurate in terms of shape. He looks so cute. I mean, he doesn't have side rods, but I can look past that because the face is painted pretty nicely. Although he might not have an accurate face because, like, he's missing a few of the bigger details, like the lines on his cheeks and all the other stuff. But he does have his eyebrows. He has the beautiful white smile. Those eyes are definitely nice. He has the gold whistles. The beautiful detailing. I was originally going to give him backlining, but I just forgot. But yeah, I basically painted everything. Like, as I was painting the running board, I decided to paint the decals as well. And the gold whistle. All at the same time. That's pretty impressive. I love the dipped running board. I will never be a fan of his flat running board that Audrey gave him. And I know Audrey wanted Thomas as a J50, but let's be honest, I love Thomas more as an E2. And if you do like J50 Thomas, please tell me in the comments below. And if you do prefer Thomas's E2, let me know, because I think this is Thomas's best design. I honestly don't know how I would feel if Thomas became a J50 in the TV show, but let's be thankful that he's an E2, because I love the E2s, and I feel so terrible that they all got scrapped. Like, that has to be one of the most tragic events in history. In British history, mind you. Excuse me. And I really do hope that one day that the E2s will be, like, remembered, and who knows, maybe one day they might make another E2, but I highly doubt that. I feel like the E2s are long gone, so it's kind of sad. And all we have them to remember by is this little blue guy himself, like, because Thomas is an iconic childhood character. There are other iconic childhood shows like Fireman Sam and Bob the Builder because of their stop motion and animation, but yeah, Thomas will always be my favorite. And for those of you who don't know, I grew up with Hit Entertainment. It was one of my... Heck, it's probably even my favorite studio of all time because of the stop motion shows. I mean, sure, there's some shows that aren't that great, but hey, there are a lot of good ones like Thomas, Sam, Bob the Builder, Pingu, the Rubber Dubbers. You get the picture. If you like entertainment, please comment below. So, this video was about like a little over 10 minutes, but still, I think the N-Scale Thomas is very cute. Now, if you want me to do a review on other engines, like, I might do that. Depends on who I make, but again, I'm only making engines from seasons 1 through 7. This means I won't be doing any characters from the later seasons, or even All Engines Go, because the original Thomas will always be the GOAT. So, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. It was time for Thomas to leave. He had seen everything.